Picture this. You wake up tomorrow morning and you own absolutely nothing. No car in your driveway, no house with your name on it, not even the clothes on your back. But here's the weird part. You're happier than you've ever been in your entire life. Sounds completely insane, right? Well, according to some pretty serious predictions, this could actually be your reality by 2030. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most controversial statements of our time. You'll own nothing and be happy. But here's the plot twist that'll blow your mind. We might already be living in this future, and most of us don't even realize it. So let's go back to 2016, the World Economic Forum. You know, those folks who organize that big fancy meeting in Davos every year. They released this video with 8 predictions for 2030. Most of them were pretty standard stuff, but one line made everyone stop dead in their tracks. You'll own nothing and be happy. Now, this wasn't some random blogger making wild predictions. This was one of the world's most influential economic organizations, basically telling us that private ownership as we know it might be over. The internet absolutely lost its mind. Some people were like, finally, freedom from all this materialistic garbage. Others were basically screaming, this is the end of personal freedom as we know it. But here's what almost everyone missed. This prediction wasn't really about the future. It was about recognizing what was already happening right under our noses. All right, let's start with why this idea is so appealing, because honestly, it sounds pretty amazing when you really think about it. Meet Sandra. She's 28, lives in downtown Seattle, and owns almost nothing. But before you start feeling sorry for her, let me tell you what her life actually looks like. Her apartment? Yeah, it's rented, but it came fully furnished through this slick housing platform. Everything she needs is already there. Her car? She doesn't even have one. Why would she? She's got Uber, Lyft, car-sharing services. Transportation is literally just a tap away. Her music collection? Spotify gives her access to over 70 million songs. That's more music than she could listen to in multiple lifetimes. Her movies and shows, between Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, and all the other streaming services, she's got more entertainment than a cable company executive from the 90s could have ever dreamed of. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Sandra spends about $400 a month on all these services combined. To actually own all of this stuff, the equivalent content, the convenience, the variety, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. Maybe more. She's basically living like a millionaire on a middle-class budget. And get this, her carbon footprint is tiny. No car manufacturing, no shipping physical products around the world, no giant warehouses full of stuff that's just sitting there collecting dust. Oh, and the freedom? It's incredible. Sandra can pack up and move to literally any city in the world with just a suitcase. No furniture to haul around, no possessions to worry about. She's more mobile than people from previous generations could have ever imagined. But, and there's always a but, isn't there? Here's where this story gets really complicated. Last month, Sandra's internet went down for 6 hours. Doesn't sound like a big deal, right? Wrong. Suddenly, she couldn't access her music, her movies, her work documents, or even her personal photos. She was basically digitally homeless, in her own apartment. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Remember when Netflix had pretty much every show and movie you wanted to watch? Yeah, those days are long gone. Now your favorite content is spread across a dozen different platforms, each one costing extra money every month. That song you absolutely love? Whoops, removed due to licensing disputes. That movie you wanted to rewatch? Sorry, not available in your region anymore. That show you were binge watching? The platform just decided not to renew the contract. Here's the really uncomfortable truth that nobody talks about. While you own nothing, a handful of massive companies own absolutely everything. Google controls your search results and your email. Apple controls your devices and your app store. Amazon controls your shopping and your cloud storage. Your entire digital life runs through maybe 5 companies. And here's the part that should honestly terrify you. They can revoke your access at any time, for any reason. Violate their terms of service? Locked out? Their algorithm flags your account by mistake? Goodbye, digital life. Your credit card expires and you forget to update it? Access denied. You're not really a customer anymore. You're more like a tenant who can be evicted without warning, without explanation, and without recourse. Let's talk about money for a second. Sandra pays $400 a month right now, but guess what? Prices keep going up. Netflix has raised their prices 6 times in just 8 years. Uber adds surge pricing during busy times. Spotify keeps increasing their rates. That $400 could easily become $600, then $800, then who knows how much. And since she owns nothing, she can't stop paying without losing everything. To really understand where we're heading, we need to understand where we've been. For most of human history, owning stuff wasn't just nice to have. It was literally life and death. Your tools, your land, your animals, they determined whether you survived or not. Then came the Industrial Revolution, and everything changed. Suddenly, ordinary people could own manufactured goods. Cars, appliances, books, record players. Ownership became a symbol of success and freedom. The whole American dream was built on the idea of property ownership. But now the digital revolution is flipping this entire concept on its head. Why own a car when you can just summon one? Why own books when you can access millions digitally? Why maintain stuff when you can just subscribe to it? It sounds logical, but it's fundamentally changing what wealth even means. In an access-based economy, wealth isn't about what you own. It's about what you can access. But access requires constant payment. You're not building equity or assets. You're basically paying rent on your entire lifestyle. Meanwhile, the platform owners are building wealth like we've never seen before. They're not just making money from your monthly subscriptions. They're harvesting your data, your habits, your preferences, your behavior patterns. You're not just paying for access, you're paying to be the product. And this is where things get really interesting, and maybe a little scary. Governments around the world are watching this transformation very closely. Central bank digital currencies could make every single transaction trackable. Smart cities could monitor every movement you make. The infrastructure for total economic control is being built right now, piece by piece. So what's actually happening here? Are we really heading toward a world where we own nothing? Well, the answer is way more complicated than a simple yes or no. Millennials and Gen Z are already living this reality in a lot of ways. They're much less likely to own homes, cars, or physical media compared to previous generations. But they're also more likely to own experiences, digital assets, and specialized tools for their hobbies and passions. We're seeing these hybrid models pop up everywhere. Fractional ownership of expensive assets, NFTs creating digital property rights, cryptocurrency enabling completely new forms of value storage. The future isn't necessarily about owning nothing, it's about owning different things. Some of these access models genuinely create value. Car sharing in cities reduces pollution and costs. Streaming services have democratized entertainment. Cloud computing enables global collaboration that was impossible before. The key is choice and competition, but here's what we really need to watch out for. When access becomes control, when platforms become monopolies, when choice becomes just an illusion. The real danger isn't owning nothing. It's having no choice about what you can access. And this isn't happening equally everywhere. Urban areas are embracing these access models much faster, while rural areas still rely heavily on ownership. Different cultures have completely different relationships with possession and sharing. So, will you own nothing and be happy? Well, the answer depends on what nothing actually means, and who gets to define what happy looks like. The smart approach isn't to reject all ownership or embrace all access. It's about being intentional and strategic about both. Own the things that give you security, independence, and genuine joy. Access the things that are convenient, temporary, or occasionally needed. Here are the questions you should be asking yourself. What do I truly need to own? What am I comfortable just accessing? Who controls my access to the things I depend on? And what happens if that access suddenly disappears? These aren't just personal questions. They're the defining questions of our economic future. The transition to an access-based economy isn't inherently good or bad. It's probably inevitable. But how it develops, how it affects our lives, depends entirely on the choices we make today. As consumers, as voters, as human beings navigating this completely new reality. You'll own nothing and be happy, but only if you own the choice itself. The future isn't really about possession versus access. It's about agency, freedom, and the power to decide how you want to live your life. So what do you think? Are you ready for a world where you own nothing? Or are there things you'd never give up owning? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the ideas that are shaping our future.